My home page is almost complete, and now I'm ready to create my other gallery pages. Before I do, there are just a few things I need to do to clean up this home page. First, I haven't given my page a title yet, so when I preview it in the browser, it shows up as untitled document. So as you can see, it shows up as untitled document here. I need to add a nice title to my page, which not only looks better than saying untitled document, but also all the search engines use your page title to decide where it shows up in the search results. It's important from the point of view of search engine visibility to have a very clear and relevant page title. To set your page title in Design View, just click anywhere on the page background. Basically, don't select any text, any images, just click on the page itself, and down here in Properties, you will see Document Title. The other thing that I want to do is take my logo and link it to my home page, that is index.html. I'm going to create all my other pages by starting with my home page and doing a save as. So things like the header, footer, and logo will be common across pages, and I'll only change out the middle content. So before I do that, I want to make sure that my logo links to my home page. I click on the logo, and down here in Properties under Link, I browse for File and simply choose index.html. So now my logo links to my home page. So now I have a proper title to my page, as you can see, and also my logo is linked to the same page. I've also gone ahead and linked all my social media icons in the footer. So my home page is basically complete, although I have a lot of dummy links, both in the menu and in the thumbnail grid, which I can change once I've created the other pages. But at this point, there's nothing I can change on this home page until I have the rest of my site pages done. So I'm ready to go ahead and create one of my gallery pages. I'm going to start with drawing. So in Dreamweaver, I'll simply take my home page and save as drawing.html under my website files. Once again, if you are not sure if you are in the main site folder, you can always just click Site Root to make sure you're saving your HTML files in the right place. So for drawing.html, my drawing portfolio page, I'm going to leave the header and footer as they are, but I'll change out the middle section. I'm going to replace all these thumbnails with my drawing thumbnails. I'll pause this video for a minute while I switch out all my thumbnails. You already know how to do this from when we made the thumbnail grid for the home page. Now on my drawing page, I've gone ahead and added all the thumbnails in. So I've created a new thumbnail grid simply by taking the old one, because I had saved as, and replacing all the images. And this is what I ended up with. So to update the images, all I really did was click on the thumbnails in my old page, the one that was a copy of my home page, and then down in Properties, I went to the source property and browsed for the thumbnail file. What I also did was link each thumbnail to the larger version of the same picture. And that's really simple too. So for example, this thumbnail, under Properties, I go to the link property, browse for file, and then choose the larger image that matches this thumbnail. So now this thumbnail is linked to the larger version of the same image. All of these thumbnails are linked, but the problem, as you will see, is when I click on a thumbnail, it opens the image, but the only way to get back to the other thumbnails is to go back. And that makes the navigation rather slow and awkward. For every single image, I'd have to click back to go back to my drawing page. So we need a better way of opening the large images that does not take us away from this page. And the way I'm going to do that is using a ready-made script that makes each large image pop up in a floating window that I can just close and go back to my thumbnails, which are waiting for me below. And the script I am going to use is called Slimbox version 2. Here's the address where you can download Slimbox. And this is how it works. You click on a thumbnail, it opens the image in a pop-up. You can either close the pop-up or you can go next to go through all your images. You can even go to the previous images. You can also use the arrow keys on your keyboard, right arrow to go next and left arrow to go previous. So I'm going to show you how to download this script and get it to work with your website. So on this website, they've given you all the instructions here, but the first step is to download Slimbox. And here's the download page. I'm just downloading the latest version that's up there. And after I extract it, you'll see there are a lot of files inside. There's some example HTML files and images, but what we are most interested in are two things. The JavaScript that actually gets Slimbox to work, and the style sheet that defines the look and feel. So there's one JavaScript file here, and a CSS file, and then some images to help with the interface. I'm going to copy this entire CSS folder to my main website folder. I'm also going to copy the JS or JavaScript folder. Now Slimbox relies on a JavaScript library called jQuery to function. So we need to do that part ourselves, and I'll show you how. To download jQuery, you go to this website, and under jQuery 1.x, we're going to download the compressed production version. Now this is a .js or a JavaScript file, so I'm going to download it straight to my site folder. Under website files, I go to the JS folder and that's where I save it. Now I go back to the Slimbox instructions on this page. Step 1. Include the script in the header of your page. So I'm going to copy these lines, go into Dreamweaver, and in the source code, I go all the way up to my head, the head of the page, and anywhere inside the head of the page, I'm going to add a new line and then paste what I copied. So what this line is telling the browser is that this page needs to read a JavaScript, and this is where you'll find it. So we need to be careful that this is actually found in this location. So under the JS folder, there should be a file called slimbox2.js and a file called jquery.js. But if I go to my JS folder, I see that the jQuery file I downloaded has some numbers and stuff in the file name. To be able to match the code that I'm seeing here, which calls jquery.js, all I need to do is rename this file. So as long as I call it simply jquery.js, then the file that I'm calling in my code is right here. The other file that I'm calling in my code is slimbox2.js, which is also right here. So my first step is done. Step 2. Include the CSS file in the header of your page. So once again, I'm just going to copy their code, go back to Dreamweaver, and once again in the head section, I'm going to create a new line and paste what I copied. Now this is calling a style sheet in the CSS folder called slimbox2.css. And just to double check, in my CSS folder, there is a file called slimbox2.css. So that's step 2. The next step is to activate these links. Here's what that means. When I click on these thumbnails, in order to get the large image to show up in a pop-up window, I need to tell the browser that this link is special. What they want us to do to make the images open up in what they call a lightbox is inside the A tag, which we know is the link. Inside the A tag, they want us to add this property called rel equals lightbox. That's it. Just add this to all our links. So I'm going to copy this and show you how to insert this. Go back to Dreamweaver. So I'm going to demonstrate on one thumbnail. Let's say the first one. I click on it. Here's the code for it. There's the image itself, and then the image is wrapped in a tag, which is the link tag, which links the thumbnail to the larger image. Inside this A tag, just before the tag closes, that is just before the right angle bracket, that's where I place my cursor. So notice where my cursor is blinking, and that's where I'm going to paste rel equals lightbox and just add a space to space it out. So now I have this link which points to mountainpainting.jpg and adds a special property that says rel equals lightbox. Let's see what this does. So now when I click on the mountain thumbnail and then open it, here's what I get. This is the pop-up which displays all your images. So just by doing those 3 steps, I can get my images to pop up in a floating window. Now I need to go through and do this for every single thumbnail. I'll show you a couple and then I'll pause the video while I do all of my thumbnails. So on the second thumbnail, here's the image, that's what gets selected, but wrapped around the image tag is the A tag or link tag. At the end of the A tag, just before the right angle bracket, I go and add rel equals lightbox. So now this image also opens in a pop-up. You'll notice that there are no next and previous links here. To be able to get the next and previous links, we need to tell the Slimbox script that all of these images belong to the same group. And here's how. So in the link tag where we added rel equals lightbox, after the word lightbox, I need to add a hyphen and I need to name my group. I can name it anything I want. In this case, I'll call it drawing. So my first image now belongs to a group called drawing. I need to go to my second image, go to the rel equals lightbox property and add the same exact group there. So with lightbox drawing in both places, now when I click on any of these images, I can see the next and previous buttons. And it makes the navigation so much easier because I don't have to close this window each time to click on another thumbnail. I can just go from one image to the next using either the next and previous buttons or the arrow keys on my keyboard. So if I want all these images to work in the same way, I need to go and paste this code rel equals lightbox drawing to every image link. So I'm going to pause this video and go and paste this property to every single image link in my drawing page. Now I've gone and pasted that code to all my image links. So no matter which image I click on, it'll open in the pop-up window and I'll be able to navigate to the other images by clicking next or previous. And once you know how to do this for one of your gallery pages, you can do the exact same thing for all your gallery pages that have still images. So in my case, I would do the exact same thing for the photography page. The last thing I need to do to finish my drawing page is to link it back to my home page and link my home page to my drawing page. Since I started with the home page and did File Save As to make this drawing page, my logo is already linked back to my home page. What I need to do is go to my home page, link the drawing link to my drawing page. Go down to Properties and under Link, you just browse. I'm going to go to my site root and link to drawing.html. I'll do the same thing down here. So this is my home page again, and if I click on drawing, it opens my drawing page. I click on the logo, it goes back to the home page. Let's test this one, and that works too. So that's how you create your other pages and link them to your home page. Now a website is starting to take shape.